this morning. Big up yourself, Kurt. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Don. Good living, Jamrock, Elaine, everybody that is here. I want to say a very pleasant good morning to my moderators. Good morning, Trems. Good morning, Chrissy, Natalie, Paulette, Lewis, Alvira. Big up yourself, sir. Jesus, my rock. Let me tell you something. We have a wonderful show lineup for you this morning. Yes, man, I specifically come on late because I want to live on the internet a little longer today. Don't forget that coming up at around 11:45, we will join the People's National Party press conference where they will be picking apart and dissecting this U.S.-Jamaica relationship with this memorandum of understanding. And let me tell you something. This don't look good at all, Jamaica. It don't look good. I want to say thanks to each and everyone that tapped the screen. We are looking good with some wonderful numbers. Yes, man, and I broke the record and I exceed my expectation this morning. Sharon Hill, good morning. Paula Sadler, Valerie Chang, good morning. Monique, Juanita Barrett Rob, Mrs. Juanita Barrett Rob, good morning. Virgo, a very pleasant good morning. British Mommy, Nats, and the entire fraternity. Let me tell you something. We're going to have a good time, Sexy Cola. Thank you, my darling. God bless you. Thank you guys so much for the love and the support. Queen of the Pack, big up on yourself, Diane Roach, Donna. Let me tell you something, Jamaica. Class I got nice this morning. Win some? Class is going to be superb this morning. I don't know about you, people, but me feel blessed this morning. I mean, I want nobody come rush the show. Because you see, when time God Almighty, they fight the battles for the People's National Party, we feel just sit down and let go and let God fight the battles for we. So nobody now come here this morning, come rush the program. We are going to take time and give God Almighty some thanks and praise. Rock and come in the class, everybody, because class just a start. Class I want to say thanks to each and everyone who understood the assignment. Thank you, Kurt. Big up yourself everywhere, the boss. Big up yourself, me G. I want to say a very pleasant good morning to everyone who understood the assignment. I didn't have to come and ask for a tap this morning. The supporters just come a class this morning and they know what to do. No complaints, no exceed my expectations this morning. 61,000 taps and I don't even open my mouth to begin class. I want to say thanks to each and every one who tapped the screen. I want to say thanks to all the gifters who send something great or small. May God continue to bless your store baskets so that you guys can able to bless me in return. My people, where to start this morning? I don't even know. There is so much that is happening in this country where what you do, you know, the most important matters get slipped through the cracks because the shame and the disgrace that take place in the Labour Party, it is so severe that you don't even know if you must address the problem from front or center, round or back. From top to bottom, from round or yonder, come right round is an absolute mess within the Andrew Holness administration this morning. You want to tell me that there cannot be at least a week of good deeds coming out of the Jamaica Labour Party? What make every single week there is? It's just disgrace after disgrace, one after the other. The Labour Party, me say, if they cut ribbon a morning, if they give one place road which I never have road, if they give them water when the water they used to run before, it's like it no mean nothing to the people of this country. The people of this country are getting so fed up and tired of the Andrew Holness led and the 35 of them which me say, no, they just they be a look them a look on the faces of them and those in the government benches. It's just an absolute turn off by the people of this country. Eh? And we owe it all to God Almighty this morning. Yes, man. Because when we see the trap we then keep setting for the People's National Party and poor Mark Golding. Remember, say Mark Golding not perfect, you know. The PNP not perfect. And whatever happened under PJ time, and Mama P time, and Peter Phillips time, we don't want to focus this so. Right about now, and Mark Jefferson Golding, PNP we attack, and he have a slate of candidates behind him where we can say, yes, whatever the PNP would have done in the past, them they are under PJ and Portia and Peter Watch. Under this man and Mark Jefferson Golding, we say people we not find nothing wrong. Any wrongdoing when the People's National Party and them individually want to commit whatever they want to commit. But for the PNP and the man Jefferson Golding, we have to tip we had to him because he's doing an exceptional job. And to them and those who are asking the opposition to do more, come on now, my people. We know in a government, you know. We send them to parliament to advocate on our behalf and tell the God Almighty truth. You don't realize that the PNP now drop no catch. Eh? Remember, we give them the duty to represent our various constituencies, you know. Yeah? It's just a pity that my candidate never win. Several of you have no candidate never win. But we are give God thanks to the 28 where God bless we with so that the opposition can be stronger. And sometimes it breaks my heart when I hear people say, oh, the opposition weak and the opposition must go and do more and the opposition and they have to come protest. Protest what and where? Anybody want go protest no galang in a son that go kick up on yourself and protest. Me no want none of you bring no more to me good Mark Jefferson Golding and the 27 MP where they behind him. And them figure go make no charge and protest. And we civilians and we the people have this country must go in a son that go demonstrate and protest. Me no want none of the call for the opposition PNP for lead no charge into no protest. We vote for them so they can go in a parliament to go represent. We are not that them I do. Every single day of the week, Mark Jefferson Golding PNP show up the government. Our duty as opposition is to hold the government to account. And at that Mark Golding, I do so me no want nobody a lead non-charge about opposition week. And Mark Golding fit this and with his shoe out and with his step out. One more shoe out and step out to no want them to do. Eh? One more about and step out. You know want them to do. The opposition is doing a superb job, and that is to hold the government to account. And at that we see them do, and at that we send them to do. If you need want them to govern and go to the things them and come out on the yard and no sabotage. Hello, I know one beat out somehow this blessed morning, you know. I don't want to go there this morning, you know, but when I see someone they come lead charge, well, people come protest. Protest what? Anybody want protest at Uno civilian and Jamaican figure gather and protest and leave the 28 MP them make them do their job. And then job is to represent you and I in the parliament, not non town center or in a no square or if you get up and roundabout a protest. Then job is to go to the parliament to represent you and I. Any protest one no want take place, Uno if you get up off on the backside and go to the town center them and the square go backyard and demonstrate. Yes! Tired of them now, man. Every day you see them on social media about protest. And protest me backside. You know want to lead protest and shout. When I couldn't not get up off on the bed and go lead protest and top call Mark Golding name. The man are doing job. And the 27 MP them behind him are doing a wonderful job. And that is to represent the various constituencies in parliament, not out and on town center. If things get bad and they want to join in to a protest, fine. But me no want to know they come call down Mark Golding and the opposition fi call lead non-charge non protest. Could you know anything Mark Golding has nothing to do? The country mash up and he's trying to fix it. He man no PJ, he man no Portia, he man no Peter Phillips. He's Mark Jefferson Golding. And we appreciate his style of leadership and a hit we are work with. One leaders, according to Mama P. But that Mama P say, one leaders. And a Mark Golding our leader right now and him we are work with. And so far he's doing a damn good job. Now, make us see if I can sit down good. Jamaica people where they galang in the country. What is happening? I don't see me, I kill time. If tune into this press conference, I don't see me I bust up the mouth and I go and say, people, at the press conference, me I kill some talk, I mean, I want good on in the meat of the matter, and now press conference go start and kick me off guard. I don't see me I rub me just go and rub and bust up the things them and just count down the time to the press conference. I don't want to go in at the hot topic them, and then you see me have to go come off of me high horse to go tune into the press conference. And that me I run from people. Uncle Joma, long time I see in a class, sir. A very pleasant good morning, Uncle Joe. I don't want to call you out, But you know, when my average supporters, them, every now and again, I see them leaving a comment. I wonder if I should ask you to stand up at the doorway, or should I make you have a seat? Uncle Jomo, fabulous, thank you for the follow. Jamaica people, class I got nice this morning. And let me just use this. What they go on here so this morning make so much people over here. Class just a start of 400 other them. I love the support. This is what we are capable of doing. And let me just use this opportunity to remind you all the supporters, every comrade, come the 26th of June, I will be launching a drive right here. Yes, man, a transition into YouTube. So don't Think me I forget me TikTok, no. But I will be going on YouTube as well, streaming concurrently, simultaneous. And my studio is coming on nicely. My desk and chair, my lighting, my background, everything. Good studio set up. But I need a proper laptop. One of those laptops that have all of the features them. Yeah, for us to have a smooth YouTube. Yes, man. So come the 26th of June, I'm looking for you guys' support. So see, I'm going to come over here and gather up. Me I look for over here full come the 27th, the 26th. It's on a Friday, the last Friday of June. And all I want to put on the $10 and the $20 and the $5 who can reach for your 50, who can reach for your 100, depending on how you deep your pocket is. I'm looking for the support. My target is $800. I mean, no God go bless me to raise it right here on this platform. I'll be providing the Zelle, I'll be providing the Cash App, the Scotia account, you name it. I will have it so you guys can show your love and support because them are kind of good teaching. Must depend on YouTube so people can able to play back. I am tired of persons reaching out, asking how can they rewatch the show and TikTok just finish whenever the live ends. So I'm asking everybody to support me come the 26th of June. We're going to raise some money. Yeah? So we can start up with YouTube. Thank you, Nadine. Thank you to all who are here. Moderator, can you kindly just signal me when the press conference is about to start so we can listen and tune in live? Jamaica, until the press conference come on stream, I think I need to start with one of the hot topics because there are so much this morning. Where should I even start? Jamaica, when I look on what is happening in our parliament, I have to ask myself the question, how did we get here? How did we get here as a nation? Huh? No, me have to ask, how did we get here as a nation? Thank you, me head boy. Pick up yourself, Howard. How we reach Yasso, Jamaica? Eh? Jamaica. Let me see if I can go up a university hospital. Me know now wait plan to hear about the Andrew Wheat. Them they are the hot topics. So now I have to go stick around and stay for all of them the hot topic there. Morning, Uncle Blair, big up yourself, Uncle. Jamaica. I would have listened to the Public Account Committee. A committee on which it comprises of both the Labour Rights and the PNP. And when you listen to the narrative that Leroy Clark and Xavier Main tried to put out against this man, the former CEO, yeah? They create the impression that what this man told the PAC meeting is unbelievable. Based on his statements in the PAC, they try to create, thank you, Brad, an impression that this man, one of the time I hear Leroy Clark disrespect the man, about the moment he saw the man's face, he thought that he was a good man. But after listening to his statements, just the disrespect, all because the man has speak and him a tell the people in the PAC meeting that what transpired to the downfall of the University Hospital of the West Indies is because of Christopher Tufton, the minister's intervention, and overrule his suggestion as the CEO so that Tufton can put who him want there, an unprofessional individual, and no wonder we are in this predicament. So Jamaica, I want you guys to listen to the PAC meeting findings, because when this man first spoke and said that they had a meeting, a thorough meeting on finding a suitable candidate to run the university hospital, Roy Clark and Juliet Cuthbert Flynn and Xavier Main, all of them gang up on the man, and ask the man to come up with the minutes. And when they brought the minutes to the PAC meeting, only 2 paragraphs were available. Only 2 paragraphs, and these meetings would have lasted for hours. But yet still, only paragraph was available on that day. And so they make it seems like the minutes never done. And so what this man is saying is up to no good. But little did they know that the investigating team went and dig up and find the minutes for that meeting. And for the record, it shows Jamaica a thorough hours and hours of deliberating in a meeting, but yet still, they made it seem as though the meeting wasn't so successful. Not much came out of it, only 2 little paragraphs. Well, Jamaica, the truth come out. And I want you to listen carefully to what the PAC meeting discovered. Listen to this.
Former board chairman of the University Hospital of the West Indies, UWI, Wayne Chai Chung, had told Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, PAC, that his management team carried out an extensive recruitment and selection process. But last week, acting UWI CEO Eric Hosin told PAC chairman Julian Robinson that there was very little in the board minutes that supported Chai Chung's account.
And the only reference of all the minutes that you checked, and you said you would have checked for the period from pretty much a 1-year period.
Yes.
The only reference to the CEO would have been
found in the July 19, 2023, which was attached, and the only mention of the selection process or employment for candidate can be found there. And there is really nothing
else
that states that the board approved anyone to be the CEO.
Government PAC members seized on the claim to suggest that Chai Chung may have misled them. But during Tuesday's sitting, Robinson read into the record that additional documents have been provided by the UWI's Human Resource and Customer Services Committee, which support Chai Chung's account of the CEO recruitment process. Those documents reportedly revealed a lengthy and structured recruitment process.
There is also a copy of an email from the board requesting that members confirm and approve the process. And this seemed to have been done by round robin because there are copies from board members who indicated their support for the process to go ahead. So members, we have before us in detail the discussions that took place. testimony here before the committee.
Khaleesi Wright for Nationwide News.
Una hear me? Una hear me? I think the live went down a while ago. I don't know if you guys are hearing me. You know, when we are speak the truth over here, so them fight the platform, you know. Thank you, sir. Okay, I think everything is back to normal now. Something went wrong a while ago. Anytime you find, say, them are expose the government and a main point, you find your life just a drop. These people are dangerous that running this country. But anyway, the long gist of it coming and go play by that device, though they come here have too much judgment for pitch and the dirty labor right them this morning. So me now come fi waste no time and try chung. All me know the man come speaking truth and what the man come tell we did believe him. But Xavier Mean and the rest of labor right they make it seem like say the man a liar. And now the record prove that what the former board chair was saying was the absolute truth. Tough and have to go down. One way or the other, he must go down. But we don't have no more time I wait here, so Jamaica. We don't have no more time I wait here, so the press conference not start yet. Make I wait a little bit more because Jamaica, when I look and I see that the police officers them there, our police officers, you guys were supposed to meet with Favour Williams yesterday. No, cycle. I don't want to tell any lie. No police officers now listen to me this morning. I need to know what was the outcome of that meeting because Favour say she was going to have a sit down with the rank and file of the Jamaica Police Federation. Remember they said they want their money and Favour put off the meeting until Wednesday, which was yesterday. So, me want to ask Favour, what was the meeting yesterday, Wednesday? And the police officers, them will listen to me on a daily basis. Can anyone of you confirm whether or not the meeting still went on? I don't know. I not accuse them whether or not. That's why I they ask. Because I don't want the labor rights them come over here and say me a conspiracy theorist. So me I ask if Favour did come meet with you yesterday as promised. God's mouthpiece say it look like it never better keep. Derval say it no keep. Oh. So why is it that Favour told us that she will be meeting with the police Wednesday the 17th, which was yesterday, on a final matter concerning the people them salary? In Favour, why is it that this Jamaica Labour Party continue to use the people of this country? Make us see if I can pull it up because, yes man, me have to pull it up. Well, and the people make me minimize. Yes, sorry about that, people. Yes, man, no must can see this minimized. The Minister of Finance and the Public Service indicated that no offer would be made at the meeting a couple weeks ago and agreed that the rank and file members have extended their great patience with her. She further stated that she awaits the final document in order to plug the figures from the policy competency framework, considering that it will have implications. And a formal offer You hear that? A formal offer or a response will be sent on Wednesday, June 17 on the items. Jamaica, the police officers them, may I ask you know, how me not hear? You want to say the press conference start? Lord Jesus. When me moderator there. All right, it start. Let me go over there, go see what take place, people. Give me a second there, please. Let me put a pause right here, and then we join the People's National Party press conference. Give me a second there, please. It will be on YouTube and Facebook, Jamaica PNP. Give me a second there, people, let we connect. I didn't get the notification at all, so just a second here. All right, internet I move fast. Just a second there. Just a second, my people. All right, I find them. Just stay with me, bear with the teacher, bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Bear with me. Let me connect. All right, got it. Perfect, I find it. Listening, people, let's listen in. Oh, no bother with this, you know. Oh, no bother with this. Oh, no bother with this. Cause me not understand why make Team PNP YouTube channel can never get, me not know them always a sabotage, yes. So well, I make me go over BAJ TV. Jesus. All right, make a tune in from here, so. It's not working. It's not work. Like, me not know what make them something always take place when PNP fi keep press conference by YouTube. There always been some sabotage to them press conference. Why? No, sir, this not safe. This not look good. But let me try again.
Team PMP ends. I don't know what happened to their signal. But please just be patient.
There may have some other streamers experience the same thing. So, I guess we just have to wait until them figure it out. But until then, Jamaica, make we just give them some time until them sort out this press thing. But, you know, when you're live, you can't really stall. You have to know how to chip in and move on until them figure it out. Jamaica, as I was saying, I want the police officer them to tell me whether or not Faval send a formal response to them, because that was what she promised. That was what she promised, that Wednesday a formal offer will be sent to the police concerning. We will begin at midday due to a technical issue. All right? So I'm getting it from the PNP headquarters. I just got a WhatsApp that they will begin the live at 12 noon. They're having some technical... Anyway, we understand. We understand. So let us just brace for 12 noon, 7 minutes from now. So we all can just wait until 12 noon for that. Because not even midday news now go hot like this, a press conference. So you know, make no sense on the left and go no, we go listen nothing else. Yes, so we are stay 7 minutes now and go kill we. 7 minutes now, go, we are still right here, so till 12 o'clock when the press conference begin. Jamaica, I don't know how the police officers them are going to manage, but it's not a good look when Faval hide the police officers for over a year. And now when she sit down and really sit with them, she go round and come round and can them out. Police officers, I don't know what I'm going to do, you know, but it's not a good look. Next, moving on the agenda. Come here, Colin. Mayor Colin Gager. I don't know if you guys saw Colin Gager disrespectful requests asking the business community and Jamaican community to build him a new municipal office. Tell me if they're not labor rights and have no shame, they don't have no... What a disgraceful mayor. What the Trelawney people them there? Colin Gager. No one asks the mayor, look how expensive that the Falmouth cruise ship pier. You know how expensive that pier is each time there is a call to that pier. Meaning each time a ship come into that harbor. You know, say that ship have to pay an average $9,000 just to park up and dock. Trelawney Parish have a Labour right MP to the north and a Labour right MP to the south. And you are a part of South Trelawney, where the 4 councillors are Labour right and the member of parliament is a Labour right, and you for the entire parish is a Labour right, and you are walk a big business community and Jamaican people money for build back a brand new municipal corporation in Trelawney. So let me ask you something, Colin. Your MP, Miss Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, want to fear our constituency office in a South Trelawney because then tell me say she pack up and lock up the office for uno dog. What make the Labour right them so worthless and dark and fool in a Trelawney? Imagine Dalrymple shut down our constituency office in a South Trelawney and move it Ghana Falmouth. Another constituency belonging to Tova Hamilton, and she shut down for her constituency from South Trelawney and set up office in a North Trelawney in Falmouth, so that her people have left from Fidem constituency coming to another constituency just to see her and get some assistance, and that the people vote for. Nadine? And that uno vote for labor rights? The mayor himself sitting at 2 capacity, you know. He is the mayor for Trelawney and he is also the councillor for the Warsop division. Dalrymple move her office from South Trelawney, Ghana Falmouth, away from her own people who put her in office, to which Colin is one of her council. I want to ask, what the hell Colin had do with the municipal money? And what Desmond give him? What me not understand if them are no shame, me no shame pan Tova Hamilton, shame pan Dalrymple, and shame pan the entire municipal corporation of Trelawney. You want to tell me so we have 2 MP for the entire parish and how much councillors? And we no can come together and ask Desmond to sort out the municipal corporation, post on the city all place so then catch up in a Falmouth. What make them a people are careless and worthless so in the Labour Party? But just look at the man. I'm telling you already see a sweet potato pudding, you know, so I not really knock him too tough because he's a part of the community. But good God Almighty, Colin Gager, you feel do better, you know. You must do better. South Trelawney people, I don't know if you're not used to nothing good. But people tell me, say, when you left from South Trelawney and come and North Trelawney up at Falmouth, you know, want to go back home, you know. Because me, it's the only time you get little light, and when you don't come from North Trelawney up at Falmouth, you get little... I don't want to disrespect nobody, you know. But South Trelawney people are full time now, you know, wake up and smell the coffee because the entire country move and left, you know. And Uno no realize that Dalrymple is not there in the bush, South Trelawney with Uno. She's out and about in Falmouth while Uno stuck back in time. Eh? Colin Gager, why is it that you're begging Jamaicans and the business community of Falmouth to put you in a brand new municipal corporation? What Desmond Mackenzie used the money do? And what Uno used the Falmouth Municipal Corporation money to do? Uno no have no shame. When you see the sitting councillor, the mayor, and the two sitting members of parliament, Tova Hamilton and Marissa Dalrymple, cannot lend any form of assistance. It tells you what the people of Trelawney had voted for. What a disgrace. What a shame and disgrace. But anyway, Jamaica, we no come fit carry pan them, because we have the hot topic them, and judgment I got pitch when me touch all North Central, St. Catherine MP, Andrew Wheatley, because Jamaica people, we just want to kill some more time till the press conference starts, because the labor rights shall have nothing named peace on the internet this morning, Come here, the member for Southeast St. Anne, Lord Jesus, Dr. Kenneth Russell. Dr. Kenneth Russell spoke yesterday and contributed to the sectoral debate. What a wonderful presentation. The man highlights so much that is happening in rural constituencies. So much he would have highlighted. The labor right them, you me about labor right, the library them are disappear in a rural Jamaica, which is true. You hardly see nobody a go no library anymore, go sit down and read no book. The market them is in a mess. And what I observed that is taking place, Jamaica, is the constant absence of the House Speaker. Very disrespectful. Yesterday when I watched the parliament, that's why I'm telling you, God not sleep, and God sits high, but he's looking down very low. So sometimes when you don't realize so the nasty, dirty ways, God not see, he might be way up in the sky beyond the blue, but he's looking down, and he's looking down very low on many this morning, starting with the government. Jamaica, Uno watched the parliament yesterday and realized how the parliament full. All Andrew in attendance, Juliet Holness sit down in the chair. All because what? They came to show support to Nestor Morgan, because he was the one that opened the debate yesterday. And them sit down and them attentively and them beat them desk. And when it was time for the opposition response, Dr. Kenneth Russell, the government benches them empty. Two of them left over there. Desmond Mackenzie and I think Floyd Green. Even Juliet Holness get up. Thank you, Derval. Even Juliet Holness get up out of the chair and put Hira up there. It is a disrespect. I want to know if I saw the Jamaican people are going to just sit back and send this. Imagine you all are paying these people millions of dollars, and that's all them do. I go to parliament, go sign their name in one book, we collect the money, and then them disappear. Only time me see I go to parliament, go sit down from start to finish. It was an absolute disgrace. And every week them come to parliament, them do the same thing. Sign them name and gone back at them yard just to collect the money. And I witnessed it over and over. Yesterday was a disgrace in Garden House. All of them turn up to hear Nestor Morgan speak. And the opposition was there in attendance and they sat and listened attentively. But when it was the opposition turn, Dr. Kenneth Russell, only the opposition remain to give him support. It is tasteless. Tasteless and tacky. And they need to stop it. They need to stop it. When last you see the Western St. Thomas MP, James Robertson? When last you see James Robertson in the parliament and these persons are collecting taxpayers' money? Eh? It is an absolute shame. And when I hear Dr. Kenneth Russell yesterday highlight some things that take place under this Andrew Holness government, he made reference to the Social Development Commission, SDC. Eh? The chairman that heads the SDC is a Jamaica Labour Party candidate that lost. Eh? The executive director of the SDC is a losing Jamaica Labour Party candidate. You know, hear them, there's something there? The parish manager is also a losing Jamaica Labour Party candidate. And them are people, I don't know, undercover activists for the Labour Party, you know, they all contested and lost the elections. And so all we need to know this morning, in terms of their qualification, is that they lost an election. So the question is this their reward to reward them for participating in the election by giving them big job? We don't know, you know, so we have to ask the question, and because we don't want to speculate, we have to keep asking. It is an absolute shame. I want you to listen to the member for Southeast St. Anne, Dr. Kenneth Russell, on what he had to say in that sectoral debate yesterday. Listen this.
We are very concerned about a very disconcerting pattern emerging at the SDC. We see a number of former JLP candidates who lost in the elections appointed to senior roles in the SDC. What do I mean? The chairman is a losing JLP candidate. The executive director is a losing JLP candidate. The parish manager of the KSA is a losing JLP candidate. These are not undercover activists. All contested.
Just a second, my moderator summoned me that the conference start. So let me just head back over there and chime in. Give me a second there, people. Thank you, Juna. Thank you, Trems. Yeah, man. Let me jump back over YouTube. Jamaica PNP. So we can listen in on what's happening. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, moderator. Jamaica PNP. All right. So let us delve into that. All right. It's here. Jamaica PNP live. Perfect. Let's listen in, everybody.
And charge. But beyond the charges, I want to take you through the responses of Dr. Wheatley to the Integrity Commission. And it is important to note that this investigation started from 2021, 5 years ago. And if you look at the chronology, many opportunities were provided for Dr. Wheatley to respond to the questions, the queries of the Integrity Commission to provide clarification on the issues that arose. So we have had an investigation for over 5 years. I would say due process was provided to Dr. Wheatley over this period of time. And beyond the allegations, I want to look at the issue of his own credibility in the responses that he has provided to the Integrity Commission, because it goes to the heart of public trust.
Yes.
And I believe, based on the responses he has provided, he has lost public trust and credibility. And just on that basis, he should be removed from the cabinet.
Yes.
Let me take one of the findings from the Integrity Commission.
Yes.
The Integrity Commission asked Dr. Wheatley to provide information about the sale of his medical practice, Western Medical Center, for $13 million in 2013, which was paid through intermittent cash payments. Dr. Wheatley named the buyer, but he produced no receipts.
Yeah.
The Integrity Commission independently established that the individual who was named as the buyer had been involuntarily removed from Jamaica,
Jesus.
whether by deportation or extradition, 3 years before the transaction was allegedly to have taken place.
Whoa.
Let me just repeat that.
Whoa.
Dr. Wheatley said to the Integrity Commission that his medical practice was sold to an individual. He couldn't provide records. When the Integrity Commission did its own research, the name of the person he provided had been removed from Jamaica, either by deportation or extradition, 3 years before the transaction was alleged to have taken place.
Jesus Christ.
So that explanation was not just unsubstantiated. It was impossible. It could not have taken place.
Exactly.
And the Integrity Commission rejected that.
Jesus
Let's
Christ.
take another issue that arose from the report. An investment scheme. Dr. Wheatley told the Commission he earned returns from a high-yield investment scheme called U-Win Antigua between 2007 and 2010. The Integrity Commission could find no evidence that this scheme existed. There were no records. But more importantly, the explanation or the records were not in Dr. Wheatley's own statutory declarations for the entire period. And he only raised this in 2024 when part of the investigation into illicit enrichment. So there is again an issue of credibility. Dr. Wheatley represents to the Commission one thing, and then on investigation, it is found that it is totally opposite.
My
The
God.
third issue, Dr. Wheatley had indicated to the Commission that he had received rental income of approximately $143 million. Naturally, the Integrity Commission asked for the names of those tenants, receipts, etc. Dr. Wheatley said that those persons were protected under the Data Protection Act, and as such, he could not provide that information. When he was pressed further, while he was able to provide some names and some substantiation, he could not substantiate the entire amount of $143 million, which he claimed came from rental income.
Yeah.
The fourth issue relates to commercial loans, that 5 Bank of Nova Scotia loans were taken out in Dr. Wheatley's name, spanning over the period 2013 to 2021. But these were never ever declared in his statutory declarations. His explanation was that these commercial loans were related to a joint venture with a business partner and didn't involve personal finances. But that was rejected by the Integrity Commission, because once a loan is taken out in your personal name, you are required to declare that to the Integrity Commission.
Of course.
So again, a very clear and I would say deliberate omission. The fifth issue relates to his ownership of lands in East Kirkland Heights, which were subdivided into 20 strata lots. 14 of those were sold over a 4-year period. None of this was reflected in his statutory declarations of 2013, 2014, 2015, or 2016. 6 of the lots were transferred to him solely. It wasn't until 2017 that any reference to a subdivision appeared at all. The commission obtained the full picture through information from the National Land Agency, independent of the information that would have been provided by Dr. Wheatley. Again, this is not just a matter of an oversight. These are sales from assets that he would have had, which he would have been required to declare to the Integrity Commission, which were not done. The sixth issue is that when you look at the totality of the chronology of the events related to the investigation into Dr. Wheatley from 2021 to 2026, there is a pattern There's a pattern of information that is not readily provided. There's a pattern of information that is provided which cannot be substantiated. And there's really a pattern of evasion.
True.
Now, anyone who operates like this, whose own credit and the test of scrutiny, should not be a member of a cabinet.
Yes.
And so, in closing, we are reiterating our call for Dr. Wheatley to be removed immediately from the cabinet. I find it ironic. He was removed in 2018 after allegations of corruption, nepotism, and cronyism related to him as Minister of Energy. For some reason, he remained out of the cabinet for 7 years. Now, I don't know whether he told the Prime Minister when he was being reappointed that he was the subject of an Integrity Commission investigation into illicit enrichment. But one wonders, why would he have been reappointed if he would have known that he was the subject of an investigation?
Mercy.
And the question has to arise. I mean, we know he's not alone.
Yes.
We know there are at least, from my count, 8 or 9 others, members of parliament.
Yes.
We don't know whether they are cabinet ministers or not, who are also the subject of investigation by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment.
No, Sammy
We call for those persons to declare themselves and hold up their hands.
Exactly.
Because we can't have the executive of the country dominated by people who are under investigation for serious criminal corruption.
True.
Corruption meaning having illicit enrichment means you have assets that you cannot account for based on your lawful income.
Roll them, Juliet.
The country has to draw a line in the sand.
We have to.
And the PMP is resolute.
Yes.
And we will continue to hold this government accountable.
Yes.
And ensure that persons with that kind of track record don't have the opportunity to exercise decisions over this population.
That's right.
I'm going to stop here and turn to my colleague Cleveland, who will take us through some of the findings of the Integrity Commission related to the finances that were exposed.
Down now, Senator.
Thank you, Julian. Good afternoon to the members of the media and Jamaicans watching online.
Then dead.
The offense of illicit enrichment was enacted in domestic law in 2001, pursuant to Jamaica acceding to the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption. Article 9 of that convention requires that states that accede to the convention should recognize in its domestic law the act of illicit enrichment, which is treated as an act of corruption. Illicit enrichment, in essence, speaks to the enjoyment of a particular degree of wealth that cannot be justified, that cannot be traced back to, that cannot be linked or referenced to one's lawful legal source of income. The Integrity Commission, having conducted its extensive and thorough investigation, concluded that Member of Parliament Dr. Andrew Wheatley is in breach of the Corruption Prevention Act, in particular the offense of illicit enrichment. How did it arrive at this conclusion? According to the Integrity Commission, between 2013 and 2022, Dr. Wheatley, his total known lawful income amounted to approximately $187 million. His total expenditure and assets acquired over that period, over the same period, amounted to approximately $352 million. That's a shortfall of $164 million. So how you arrive at illicit enrichment, the determination of illicit enrichment, a formula, a simple mathematical formula is incorporated. Let's assume that your wealth over a period of time amounts to $20. The assets that you have acquired, the expenditure that you have made was $20. But your income over that specified period was $10. So you deduct your income of $10 from your expenditure or your wealth of $20, which would leave a difference of $10. That $10 cannot be explained
by your lawful income, which means that that $10 is treated as illicit enrichment. In the case of Dr. Wheatley, it was not $10, it was $164 million. So $164 million of his wealth could not be explained by his lawful income, and that is why the Integrity Commission concluded that this amounts to illicit enrichment. Make no mistake, the Integrity Commission provided numerous opportunities for Dr. Wheatley to explain the source of his wealth. Yes. I read the chronology, I read the report in its entirety. There were several opportunities for him to appear before the Integrity Commission in the presence of his counsel to explain and justify his source of income. So he cannot provide an explanation. He did not have the opportunity to respond. The Integrity Commission was very extensive in the opportunities that it provided him. The findings are more serious than just the $164 million of his wealth that could not be explained by his lawful income. There were bank deposits that also could not be explained. According to the Integrity Commission's report, total deposits across his 4 personal accounts for the relevant period amounted to approximately $595 million. After accounting for transfers, interest, and deposits that carried a satisfactory explanation, the Integrity Commission was satisfied with the explanation provided for that. Approximately $168 million remain unexplained. In essence, deposits to his 4 bank accounts amounted to $168 million that could not be explained. Where have we seen this before? We have seen it when the Integrity Commission produced its report into the financial conduct of the Prime Minister and his personal financial affairs, where we saw that there were deposits to the tune of millions of Jamaican dollars that could not be explained. It's the same pattern that is emerging in this situation. Early election! Weekly. Early election! There were also vehicle sales that could not be properly substantiated. Again. Dr. Wheatley claimed $29 million from the sale of vehicles. The Director of Investigation was able to independently verify the sale of only 4 of the 6 vehicles claimed. No documentary evidence of sale prices was produced for any of them. That is problematic, and this contributed to the conclusion from the Integrity Commission that something was not right with the conduct of his financial affairs. Let's also look at rental income. Dr. Wheatley reported approximately $143 million in rental income over the period. When he was formally requested to provide the tenants' names, the lease agreements, and bank deposits evidence, he initially refused. Now, if you are on a mission to clear your name, I don't understand why it would be difficult for you to produce the information necessary to act as evidence in your defense. So he initially refused, citing the Data Protection Act, and the Director of Investigation determined that argument had no legal basis whatsoever under the Integrity Commission Act. Only a portion of the rental income was ultimately substantiated. So the remainder was excluded from the calculations, and that acted in his favor. Understand that. But beyond that, there were undeclared loans, commercial loans. There were loans from Bank of Nova Scotia that amounted to over 50 million Jamaican dollars that was not declared in his statutory declarations. That is a breach of the Integrity Commission Act that requires for you to completely and accurately disclose all assets and liabilities and income. And a loan is a liability. You owe it, you're supposed to pay it back. And he did not disclose that. And when I calculated the amount, it was over $50 million. I don't know how you can forget that you owe over $50 million. That's unheard of. So the Integrity Commission found that to be very problematic. There was also the acquisition of land, the East Kirkland Heights development. Dr. Wheatley co-purchased land at East Kirkland Heights in 2000. 2011. The land was subdivided into 20 strata lots in 2013. 14 of those lots were sold between 2014 and 2018. None of those transactions, or not one of those transactions, appeared in his statutory declarations. The Integrity Commission requires that you include disposal and acquisition of assets in your statutory declaration. Yes. He excluded that, and this contributed to the conclusion that he omitted information required from his statutory declarations. There are 6 remaining lots that were transferred to him solely as purported gift from this joint venture. So what the Integrity Commission identified is that, according to him, he did not invest any capital in the acquisition of this land that was subsequently developed into a strata lots. But then he received 6 lots as gift, and that sounds highly irregular. And in the absence of evidence to substantiate his claim, the Integrity Commission dismissed his explanation. You know, in closing, I want to say that the methodology that was used by the Integrity Commission in arriving at illicit enrichment is robust. It's not only utilized in the Jamaican jurisdiction, it's utilized across the world. And it's a simple and easy formula to utilize, and that it resulted in a significant amount, $164 million, being unexplained by his lawful earnings, is serious accusation. And I repeat the call from the opposition that with this hovering him, he has no place in the cabinet of Jamaica. The office of cabinet, the public office, exceeds any individual and must be treated with the appropriate dignity and respect that he deserves. He should step aside forthwith.
That's right. Come read them, dip and them foot, you know, man. Come down, me leader.
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues.
Come down.
For being here.
Yeah,
and those who are watching online, greetings.
Greetings.
My 2 parliamentary colleagues have gone into some of the details of the Integrity Commission report concerning MP Andrew Wheatley, who is a Minister of Government. As a result of that extensive investigation done by the Integrity Commission, the Director of Corruption Prosecutions has made a decision that Dr. Wheatley should be charged with 4 offenses. The most egregious of those offenses is the corruption offense of illicit enrichment.
My God.
Which is part of our law, was brought into our law under the Corruption Prevention Act to give effect to our international obligations as signatories to anti-corruption treaties, which are global. It is absolutely untenable for the Cabinet of Jamaica to have a sitting minister who has been recommended to be charged with the corruption offense of illicit enrichment. That brings Jamaica's name into disrepute, both here and abroad.
Yes.
Furthermore, there are 2 serious charges relating to making false declarations, which is also a serious offense.
Thank you.
Under the Integrity Commission Act and its predecessor.
Thank you, Sexy Cola.
The Parliamentary Integrity of Members Act. That prior to 18 was the law which required MPs and senators to file annual declarations. And it's important to note that what the Integrity Commission is saying is that the falsehoods in the declaration submitted by Dr. Wheatley arose both under the law prior to 2018,
Thank you, Tiny.
the Parliamentary Members Integrity Act, and the law that existed since 2018, which is the Integrity Commission Act. So there's a long-standing pattern of these declarations not giving the true picture of the members' state of affairs.
a statutory declaration is a comprehensive document. It requires you to disclose all your assets, personal or business,
Thank you.
all your liabilities, personal or business,
Sir, bless.
and all your income.
Thank you, Charmaine.
Dr. Wheatley, manifestly, according to the report, didn't comply with those obligations.
No comply
hence the
at all.
recommendation that he be charged.
My God.
And there is a fourth offence relating to failure to supply information required by the Commission,
Thank
which
you,
is also
Patrick.
a serious
Answered.
offence. So I am reiterating my call on Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of this country,
Yes.
to take the necessary steps to ensure that Dr. Wheatley is immediately removed from the cabinet of Jamaica.
My God.
It is true that Dr. Holness himself remains under a cloud
Yes.
because his declarations were the subject of a detailed report,
Still is.
and the findings were sent to the FID over a year ago for them to investigate further because information that the Integrity Commission had asked for had not been provided, which was necessary for them to conclude their work. That remains in abeyance.
My God.
Dr. Holness took the Integrity Commission to court, seeking to challenge the constitutionality of that legislation, the Integrity Commission Act itself,
Wow.
which was passed by his government, and also the offence of illicit enrichment, which is in the Corruption Prevention Act, and which is an important part of our anti-corruption architecture.
Roast the market, G.
This is the context in which we're operating in this country in terms of governance,
True.
and it cannot be worsened
Be bad.
by having somebody who's under the cloud of a criminal charge, funding for serious matters like this,
Yes.
being allowed to remain in the cabinet of the country,
My
which
God.
is the body in charge of the executive government of Jamaica.
Exactly.
So we have called for this, and we hope that all well-thinking Jamaicans
Yes.
and all organizations that have an interest in national development and the good governance of the country will put some pressure on the government so that the right thing can be done. We don't know the outcome of any prosecution. That's not for us to determine. The point is, whatever Dr. Wheatley may be saying in his defense is really irrelevant at this point. The investigation is concluded, a decision has been made, he is to be prosecuted for these matters, he must step back. He cannot remain part of the government of Jamaica. There are two other matters I wish to raise with you today. The first of those two relates to this matter of the third country nationals who are going to be coming to Jamaica pursuant to an MOU that we were told in Parliament yesterday by the Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, was signed by him, I believe, on behalf of the government of Jamaica last week, Thursday. Now, this is a matter which is of great concern to many Jamaicans. The U.S. courts have the lawfulness of these arrangements in their sights currently. There's a case decided by a federal judge in Massachusetts which said that these third country arrangements are not lawful under U.S. law. The government of the United States is appealing that to their Supreme Court. That matter is not yet resolved. But we are nevertheless embarking upon an arrangement, notwithstanding the fact that the lawfulness of that arrangement in the jurisdiction of the other country that we're signing to is itself very uncertain. But there's another matter which I think cannot be overlooked. The Gleaner has reported
Yes.
that they received a copy of a diplomatic note
Adrimark.
from the United States government
Sierra.
to the Jamaican government, indicating
Kinti.
that this arrangement was first proposed
Yeah.
by a member of the government of Jamaica,
Yes.
Audrey Marks, MP,
Mighty God.
and that she raised it in March, I think it was,
Yeah.
at the security conference that was held in Florida, hosted by the U.S. government at the time.
Wow.
In Parliament yesterday, Dr. Chang was asked the question how did this arrangement come into existence? And he said that it was initiated by the U.S. government.
Mighty God!
Now, the two positions can't both be true.
Mighty God!
And I think there is a basis for this matter to be referred to the Privileges Committee of Parliament.
Yes!
So that the question of whether the Minister of National Security lied to Parliament yesterday can be looked into and investigated and dealt with appropriately. And I'm calling for that to be done, because we cannot have a situation where ministers of government in Parliament on their feet answering questions about matters of state are not being scrupulously truthful to the public in Parliament. The last issue I wanted to address today relates to the squabble that took place during the proceedings of Parliament yesterday, and which have been covered by at least one media house, and I believe in social media, alleging that, or saying that the Prime Minister was calling a member on our side a bully,
Yes!
and so on. Now, for those of us who were in Parliament and who witnessed this, it's quite clear that the squabble began when the Prime Minister told that member to shut up.
Yeah.
When the member responded and said, "What did you say?" He repeated it and told him to shut up. This was in the context of the member speaking to the question of Hansard, being asked to verify what had been said previously in the same proceedings, which were the subject of a dispute. It is those two unparliamentary statements by the Prime Minister which led to that squabble. And ultimately resulted in him calling the other member a bully, etc. That is how, unfortunately, the reporting of it has not been balanced or accurate.
Wow.
And I really think that it was unseemly for the Prime Minister of the country to descend into a squabble of that nature, which he really initiated by calling the member up, telling the member twice to shut up. And the Prime Minister ought to apologize to the Parliament for having effectively kicked off the series of engagements between the two of them, which led to a protracted and unseemly squabble in Parliament yesterday, ultimately resulting in the Speaker having to suspend the sitting for a period of time to allow tempers to cool. And I'm saying that this morning because I don't think it's fair or balanced the way in which it's been covered.
True.
And the Prime Minister ought to do the right thing and apologize for his role in it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I think God, what a morning.
We'll take questions. Just identify yourself and the media house. Al, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to know, I'd like to know basically, in referring to Dr. Wheatley, what was the period in which his earnings were assessed? What was his gross earnings? And you said that it was 167 outstanding, or the illicit enrichment 67 million. Just basically, could you break down basically what year and what period was it? What was the investigation for? And just do the math through that. And secondly, referring to the rental income, the 143 million, is it a case that he couldn't account for all the revenue or he generated from letting, or was it a case that there was some outstanding because some people, particularly, no disrespect, some of the younger people, they owe the money on the rent and they leave and all the rest of it, you can't trace them? You know, I'm just trying to drill down a little bit more on the numbers.
All right, well, Al, I think you need to read the report.
Exactly.
But let me say, on the second issue,
I'm gonna read
it
the
was
report.
he reported 143 million in rental income.
Yeah.
He was then asked to substantiate it, meaning tell us the name of the tenant, receipts, etc. His initial response was he's not providing the information because that is protected under the Data Protection Act. The Integrity Commission said no, it is not protected. He subsequently provided some information but could not substantiate the entire 143 million, which he had indicated came from rental income. I mean, I'll ask Cleveland to go through some of the details, but I mean, the report is fairly extensive.
Yeah.
You know, lining the period under review that it examined his statutory deductions, and this certainly, its own investigation would have commenced in 2021. So it's been a 5-year-old investigation, which Dr. Wheatley would have had multiple opportunities. And again,
Exactly.
it's important. Look at the chronology where they outline when they send an invitation for him to come in with your counsel, etc., etc. They provide that in detail. So there is due process in the Integrity Commission's own process.
Yes.
But I'll allow Cleveland to...
Just before Cleveland, Joe.
Before Cleveland responds, it's important to understand the nature of the offense of illicit enrichment.
Yeah.
You declare assets of a certain value. The question is, well, how did you acquire those assets? If your declared income, lawful income, doesn't support those assets, it can't explain how you acquired those assets, the obligation is then on you to show how you acquired them lawfully. And he has obviously failed to do so, which is why he's being recommended to be charged for that offense. So initially, he had said rental income was one of the explanations. He couldn't adequately substantiate that, and so on. If you want to get into the nitty-gritty of when it all happened and the detailed items, the thing to do is to really look at the report, which is quite extensive. And it's publicly available.
Just before Cleveland drills down, just before you drill down, one of the things I would like to ask you all is, we're in an era now, and particularly as far as Jamaica is concerned, looking into governance issues and so forth. Are you not a little bit perturbed by the fact that other entities are not coming to the fore yet and looking at this and questioning and asking the questions that you're asking? I name in particular the churches, PSOJ, JCC, all of them. There's been nothing mentioned. It's just been an echo chamber.
Let me say, the report was tabled yesterday at 4. I don't want to be critical of entities at this point in time. We're less than 24 hours, but I certainly...
We're in the digital age now.
I know, but I saw on social media, I would say I saw on social media the executive director for JFJ calling for his removal from the cabinet, and I think I heard a news radio clip of the executive director of NIA indicating that these were very serious allegations. So I wouldn't say nobody has said anything, but we're less than 24 hours after the report has been tabled. So I'm hoping that, well-minded Jamaicans who believe in democracy, who believe in accountability and transparency, will add their voices to this very serious issue.
Yes.
I will add something that I think should be highlighted, which acted in the favor of Dr. Wheatley throughout the investigation. When the Integrity Commission asked him to produce a schedule of his expenditure over the period of assets, the period that was used in determining illicit enrichment was from 2013 to 2022, to answer your question more directly, Al. When the Integrity Commission asked him to produce a schedule of his expenditure to help to determine whether he had assets and whether he expended funds that could not be determined by his lawful income, he indicated to the Integrity Commission that he was unable to accurately recall his expenditure. Notwithstanding that response, the Integrity Commission was able to utilize his bank statements that would reveal some expenditure made. Well, what you should realize is that it is very probable and very likely that there was expenditure made that was not reported or captured through bank statements. So which means that the expenditure figure that the Integrity Commission used in its formula could be very much less or lower than the actual expenditure figure. And the Integrity Commission outlined that, which acted in the favor of Dr. Andrew Wheatley.
So,
Good afternoon.
Jamila, you have a question?
Jamila from TVJ. The investigation took several years to complete. Do you believe that agencies, for example, like the TAJ, we see the gaps outlined, for example, when companies are earning and they're filing nil tax returns. Does the opposition believe that the TAJ doesn't have the capacity to investigate or to really raise an alarm initially, so we don't see a report, for example, taking something like this 5 years later? And more specifically, it came out in the Prime Minister's case as well. And two, the contents of the report are very concerning, as you mentioned before. I asked a few press conferences ago, has any opposition member of parliament indicated to the opposition leader that they are being investigated for illicit enrichment? And if I could just squeeze in one more.
Well, let me just answer those two, otherwise I might forget. The first one concerning tax investigations. Everybody who earns income is supposed to file a return. Many people don't file returns, especially if they don't have any source of income other than their salary and the taxes withheld by their employer in the PAYE system. Furthermore, you don't know what investigations or audits the tax department is undertaking, because that's not a matter that's made public. So you could find, for example, that there are investigations of persons by the tax authorities which we're just not privy to. So I don't think we can really comment on that. I think one of the things that was said was that Dr. Wheatley hadn't filed personal income tax returns. I don't know for what period, but that again is concerning for somebody who's obviously involved in so many business activities, separate apart from whatever salary he's earning as an MP or as a minister. Your second question is to do with, yes, I have asked our parliamentarians the question as to whether any of them are under investigation for illicit enrichment. The background of that was the fact that the Integrity Commission had said through its representative in Parliament, because they attend the committee meetings for the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee, had said that anybody who was under investigation for illicit enrichment would know about it, because they would have been approached by the Integrity Commission to provide information to support the assets that they have declared. And I individually asked each of our MPs and senators that question at a time when the annual reports of the Integrity Commission had shown that at first it was 6 persons who were under investigation for illicit enrichment. Then a subsequent report, that number had increased to 8. I'm not even sure what the latest report will show. But the answer was across the board, none of our MPs or senators said to me they are under investigation for illicit enrichment, and they knew I was asking them this question for the reason that I was going to have to respond to the public as to how our situation on our side. Some of them may have had questions asked about their declarations, probably most, because the nature of how the process works with the Integrity Commission when you file is that they will ask you for additional questions for anything that they see that they're not clear on, or that you haven't provided a piece of paper to support, or if there's an error in terms of your number versus what's in the paper. It's a process before they complete their work. So that was neither here nor there. But the question of being under investigation, which is a different department within the Integrity Commission from the one that deals with the normal run-of-the-mill process of reviewing declarations. None of our members, to the best of my knowledge, are under investigation.
And I have one more on TCNs, that's the third country nationals. Dr. Chang at post-cabinet press briefing, he was being asked several questions from journalists, and I think that was a day after the news Hillsborough. And, a question was asked about why is it that Jamaica has sought, or Jamaican government rather, has sought to accept this, or agree to this arrangement. And the question was asked, he said that Jamaica was simply helping out an ally in accepting the request. And the question was raised about what is the country receiving in return? What is the benefit of this all? And I know many Jamaicans are also asking, and he said it wasn't a relevant question because in bilateral agreements it's not a sort of a quid pro quo situation. I'm asking the opposition, what do you make of this response? And
it's a cover-up.
In the years of diplomacy, is a response, is a request like this unusual? And is an acceptance of the request, seeing like the country is being pressured in to accept the TCNs?
Well, it clearly was a relevant question, so for him to have said otherwise was very peculiar. Bilateral agreements typically have obligations on both sides, and there is typically a benefit to be derived from both sides, from whatever that may be. Not always, because it may just be, for example, the donation of aid after a hurricane, which is really a one-way flow of a benefit to a country that's in desperate need. But for something like this, you would have expected that Jamaica would have some benefit from taking all these non-national, non-Jamaicans, processing them here, becoming responsible for them here, taking the risks inherent in having them here, and having to deal with them if they don't leave. So we're exposing ourselves to a significant amount of exposure by taking these people here, and risks. So, one would expect there to be some benefit flowing in the other direction. So I don't think it was an irrelevant question for the media to have asked him. He has not provided any clear response to say what, if any, that benefit is. His position is the U.S. is a good ally. We accept that. They're a long-standing friend of Jamaica. That's true as well. We accept that. They made this request. I don't doubt that they did. Well, put it this way, we know that the Secretary of State had indicated publicly that this was an arrangement that the U.S. was pursuing in a number of countries, and so it's obviously their policy to seek it. In our case, it seems to have been initiated by us. Yes. And the question arises, if there's no benefit flowing to Jamaica from this, why were we initiating it? And in fact, the diplomatic note says that the number of 10,000 people was raised in that initial exploratory foray by Minister Marks at the conference in Florida in March. So that number, of course, has been subsequently disputed heavily by Minister Chang, and he's saying, it's 25 at a time every 2 weeks, and then if any of them stay for beyond 30 days and that becomes more than 10, the arrangement can be paused. Not that it must be paused, but can be paused and so on. That's what the government is saying now. But at the time when it was first broached, according to the diplomatic note, I haven't seen it, but it's been reported by the Gleaner, that wasn't the arrangement at all. It was a discussion of a much bigger number. And the question that arises, why was Jamaica reaching out for such an arrangement if there's no benefit to us from doing so? So it's a relevant question, and the government hasn't answered it.
Current. I think not. Conference at 9.
I'm not sure who wants to take this. I have two. One about the Minister Wheatley. You have said since yesterday, the opposition have said since yesterday that you're calling for him to resign. How do we escalate that pressure if he does not resign? And is there a timeline for him to resign?
Yeah, well, we have called for him to be removed from the cabinet. He can either resign or he can be dismissed. The Prime Minister has that power right away to do it, and no doubt is considering what to do. We are told close friends and so on, but that's neither here nor there in the scheme of things. What really matters is Jamaica's reputation, our image, internationally and locally, and upholding the rule of law and decency in public life. The Prime Minister has a responsibility to lead in that regard and cannot continue to embrace somebody in his cabinet who has these serious charges pending against him. So I am hoping that others will see the need for the status quo to change. If we want Jamaica to become a stronger society, to attract more investment from sources that are reputable and who we would like to do business with, and so on, we can't allow our state of affairs in government to degenerate in a serious way like this. And to have somebody in the cabinet with these charges over them, that would be a serious blot on our country, and I think would be unprecedented to the best of my knowledge. You know, when in our situation, if we have somebody who's a candidate or something and there's an issue like that and there's a pending charge, they can't run. That's the rule we have. And
yeah. And I was going to ask how you escalate it though.
Yes.
If it's not removed, and is there a timeline?
Well, how we escalate it is by reaching out to other organizations in the society with whom we have regular dialogue and saying to them, are you going to take a position on this? Sometimes people are remarkably distracted from public affairs. You know, they operate in their own silos of life. They're focused on business or they're focused on spiritual matters or whatever it is. And it takes a little time for them to digest a situation like this. They don't live it and breathe it in the way that somebody who's active in politics does. So it's part of our role is to bring it to the attention of these groups and ask for them to express solidarity with what is a very important principle. And that's what we will be doing.
Is there a timeline?
No, there can't be a timeline. You know, we will continue to agitate for it until we get an outcome which we think is the best for Jamaica.
Thank you. I just wanted,
I think something must be highlighted here. If you look at the chronology in the report, it said that on January 29, 2024, a meeting conducted with Dr. Andrew Wheatley and his attorney at law was served with an illicit enrichment notice in respect of which he was required to provide an explanation to the commission. So he knew that he was under investigation for illicit enrichment as at January 29, 2024. That was prior to him being added to the cabinet in 2025. Two questions arise from that. Did the Prime Minister know when he was appointing him as Minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister in September 2025 that he was under investigation for illicit enrichment? Did he hide that information from the Prime Minister? Obviously. If he hid that information from the Prime Minister, it's more reason for the Prime Minister to remove him from the cabinet now. If he shared that information with the Prime Minister, why did the Prime Minister appoint him, notwithstanding that? The Prime Minister has an obligation to not only dismiss him, but to tell the public if he knew that he was under investigation.
Mighty God,
thanks. I have another one on the TCM. And I'm framing my question against the background of the volatility, for a political situation, because one of the questions that I've heard since the whole issue came to light, of course broken by my colleagues, is this is similar or has similarities to Dr. Peter Phillips' own quote-unquote secret MOU. How would you respond to people who say, the PNP has gone down this road of secret MOUs before?
The existence of MOUs, bilateral MOUs between countries is not new. They can cover a wide array of subject matter. The ones you're referring to relate to national security. And I think the ones that were entered into back then, when Dr. Phillips was Minister of National Security, related to sharing of information for persons who were suspects for serious criminal activities and facilitated joint intelligence sharing and so on. So that existed then. It probably still exists now. And it's part of the way in which states protect themselves from organized crime and so on. So, I mean, we're not denying that MOUs relating to security have existed in the past. Yes, they have, and they still exist, I'm fairly sure about. Nothing like this exists, though, where you're taking persons who have no connection with Jamaica and you're receiving them because another country doesn't want to have them. That other country has the right and indeed the power to address the situation in the normal way, which is under the immigration laws and international obligations of the country. In this instance, what is being sought is to bring Jamaica and other countries into the affairs of another country, essentially, by saying, please take these people from us and you deal with them. That's unprecedented. We've never had an MOU dealing with that. We've never had an arrangement like that. You may recall that the British government, under the Conservatives, had tried to do something similar, where they were going to send asylum seekers to Rwanda. And that went to the highest court in the United Kingdom, was held to be unlawful. And as I've said already, this third country arrangement is under judicial scrutiny in the US as we speak. And that matter is unresolved. And in fact, to the best of my knowledge, the only ruling of the federal court that exists now is a ruling saying that it's unlawful and that is being appealed. So this is an unprecedented situation, a very peculiar situation, and it's where we find ourselves at the current time. Yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah? Okay.
How would this now? How we depend on rule, you know? But I come style up the thing.
Thank you. There is a question from the Observer for Opposition Leader Golding. They're asking you to comment on the apparent practice of the government to remove ministers after controversy arises, only to sneak them back into government sometime later.
I think that each case has to be assessed on its own merits. You know, there are situations where somebody who holds a ministerial position, whether in cabinet or a junior minister, and who may do something which wasn't quite right, and which, because we're trying to set a standard of good behavior and proper governance, cannot just be ignored. On the other hand, the level of violation in that particular instance may not be so egregious as to warrant the permanent exclusion of that person from their career as a public figure. And in that instance, I don't think there should be any permanent barring of somebody. On the other hand, there are some things which are so serious or sufficiently serious that that person really should not be a public figure any longer, should not be responsible for any aspect of the affairs of the nation, should not be representing people in parliament, or should not be certainly part of the government of the country, privy to the state secrets that come to cabinet, and exercising executive authority in a portfolio affecting the lives and interests of the Jamaican people. There's a spectrum that we're talking about. Each case will be somewhere on that spectrum. And I would say that we have to look at it in that way. There have been instances where people have spent some time out of grass, so to speak, not in any governmental position, and have come back and have served well. And you know, we celebrate second chances in appropriate cases. None of us is perfect. On the other hand, we've had many cases under this government where persons who have a portfolio responsibility do something which is egregious, is the subject of very adverse public comment and pressure, and they're brought into the naughty corner at OPM and given a continuing salary to operate within the office of the Prime Minister for a period of time. That's not a practice that we would encourage. We don't think that that serves the purpose of holding people accountable for their wrongdoing.
Okay. Oh, all again? Okay, go ahead.
I've got quite a few actually, but I'll bowl a couple right now at you. One, do you think this Wheatley situation will intensify the spotlight on NARA, given that we're now talking about governance compliance and so forth? One. Secondly, do you think the arrangement with third parties coming in, do you think that could lead to a case of imported crime at a time when crime numbers are going down? One can recall the situation back in the 80s where the US, we saw a surge in crime, particularly in the Miami area, when people came in.
Well, let me say, I mean, we don't necessarily know the nature of the individuals who are coming here.
Precisely.
Right, so that possibility exists, and neither do we know when they get here whether they will have the opportunity to be employed gainfully. I think the government had said their living expenses are going to be covered by, I believe, some UN-related body, IMO or something like that. But we don't know how long they're going to be here, and obviously people who get moved from where they are in the U.S. here, it is a risk. It is a risk. We don't know. It's right now it's open-ended because it could be people who are involved in criminal activity. It could be people who have just overstayed their time. We don't know at this stage.
But isn't it a case that these people coming in, no offense intended, but would be seen as undesirables coming into Jamaica?
I think the challenge you're going to have is that Jamaicans are going to be looking on, particularly those Jamaicans in the western part of the country who are still living on the blue roofs, those Jamaicans who are still living in cars. There are Jamaicans who live in difficult circumstances, and then they're going to wonder when they see persons being brought here, being probably housed in conditions that may be better than them. Exactly. But there's also the issue of what may appear to be a double standard in terms of how persons are being treated, who, for example, Haiti is a very volatile country. Crime is high. People run the risk of being killed there. There are people who jump on boats and come here and they're sent back the following day. Why are they treated that way? You know, our neighbor Cuba, we sent to them people who were professionals who were providing medical services. So, you know, Jamaicans will look on and say, why are one set of people treated one way, but another set of people are treated differently? And again, I think within the context of a country that has come out of its worst hurricane 7 months later, with so many people displaced, legitimately people will wonder why we are taking these people, and as has been asked before, what benefit the country gets from it? And we can't get an answer on that.
Thank you. We have an online question.
Oh, whether it will have, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, we continue, the opposition leader has nominated somebody. Our concerns were really not addressed by the government in terms of any amendments to the legislation. We will continue to hold the government accountable. NARA is a powerful body with oversight over billions of dollars, and we will continue to hold the government accountable.
I would say that just this morning, I received a strong complaint from a leading businessman in the country about the new policy relating to cement imports into Jamaica, where cement import licenses have been granted to various players, including a large quota for a non-Jamaican company, and it was not through any transparent process. That was his complaint, that he wasn't aware that there was any opportunity to apply this hearing, and you know, he's in a relevant business that would have had an interest if it was open to persons to apply to be allocated a quota. Nothing like that happened. And he said, if this is how NARA is going to operate, dog nyam with supper. You know, so already I think the private sector are concerned about aspects of the same type of issues, not identical issues, but the same broad issues that we were raising around the lack of accountability and transparency that's inherent in the NARA structure. NARA has a flawed governance structure, deeply flawed. and we remain very strongly opposed to its current structure, and we hope others will, even late in the day, join on the call for it to be amended. Having said that, it is reality, it exists, and it's going to have a huge impact on Jamaica's economy and economic fortunes in years to come. And that is why I appointed someone to the Jamrock, which is this ad hoc committee established. It has no legal status. It's not even clear to me how it's going to receive information from NARA, because NARA has secrecy provisions in it which prevent the sharing of information unless a law specifically allows it to be shared. And because Jamrock is a non-legal construct, there's no law authorizing it to be shared with them. So that immediately creates an issue, which I don't know how they'll resolve that. But that's a rule that's the oversight mechanism that the government has put in place, and I appointed someone who is a experienced and well-qualified civil engineer to represent the opposition on the Jamrock Committee, with a mandate to operate with as much transparency and ensure accountability as rigorously as possible.
Okay, we have an online question from Siobhan at Nationwide. Can you unmute, please, and go ahead?
No, tell him he must come to our press conference.
And the opposition leader has requested that you actually be present the next time around physically.
Next time, don't send a request at 11 o'clock in the night. But, Mr. Golding, a quick question. I had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Wheatley's lawyer yesterday, Abe Dabdoob, and he suggested that he intends to call for the intervention of the DPP in this matter and for a full forensic audit of the Integrity Commission's report. I want your reaction to that, and do you, under those circumstances, have any concern about the way that report and the information contained in was carried out by the Integrity Commission? And further, on the matter of the TCN, I just want a clear position from the opposition as to, would you support such an agreement between the United States and Jamaica, or are you against it? I just want a clear position from the opposition on that matter.
In terms of the report of the Integrity Commission, there's nothing in it that I have seen that suggests anything other than temperance, patience, but thoroughness in how they approached that investigation. It was going on for many years. Dr. Wheatley was given many opportunities to substantiate the issues which he failed to substantiate. Mr. Dabdoob is his lawyer, and it's his job to represent him as best he can. I don't, that doesn't mean a lot to me as a lawyer. I expect that is what I mean. But the facts are what the facts are. The investigation is complete. Certain findings have been made. Dr. Wheatley has been recommended for prosecution. The charges are serious, and he must step down. If proceedings are brought or initiatives started which result in a change to that situation, then the situation may warrant further adjustment. But as it stands now, and as it will stand for a while, I'm fairly confident he should not be in the cabinet of the country. On the, what was the other thing, TCN? Well, all I can say is I'm very uncomfortable with the idea of entering into an arrangement like this, where the legal aspects of it are unsettled. And I would have personally would have been inclined to certainly await the ruling of the Supreme Court on it before going any further. It is a fact that the U.S. are a close ally of ours and have been very helpful to us in many ways, including after Hurricane Melissa. And if they have a serious problem and they're asking for our assistance, I wouldn't likely ignore that or reject that. But I would be very concerned about the risks that Jamaica is assuming from doing it. And some of those have been discussed already today. The possibility of persons coming here that the screening doesn't actually completely thoroughly cover whatever risks they may present to the Jamaican public and so on. So, I don't want to definitively say, because I don't know when a government is dealing with a situation, they are privy to information that we opposition simply don't know. The public doesn't know either. And, I'm mindful of that. But I would say that certainly while the legalities of the situation remain unclear, I would have been reluctant to commit Jamaica to that. And I have serious misgivings about the legality of it, given how other jurisdictions where this matter has been addressed at the highest level judicially have found it not to be something which is lawful. So that alone gives me a reason to be cautious in how to proceed.
Just one more, if you allow me, in relation to Dr. Wheatley. Under the circumstances, you called for him to step away from the cabinet, but under the nature of the allegations against him and the fact that this will be going most likely to court, do you believe that it impairs his ability as a member of parliament as well?
It's a very different situation. A member of parliament has been elected, and unless the Constitution is violated by the person having a criminal offense of a certain categorization, the person remains eligible to be in Parliament. So I don't think there's a legal basis for saying that Dr. Wheatley should MP because of the fact that he's facing these criminal charges. On the other hand, the voters who voted for him may not have been aware that this investigation was hanging over him. And many of them may feel uncomfortable being represented by somebody who is facing those criminal charges. So he has a decision to make on that. We don't have recall in our Constitution, and I think this perhaps reinforces the need for recall provisions, which is something that I have been advocating for and should be part of the constitutional reform arrangements, so that citizens who have reason to want to change their mind about who represents them have an opportunity to do so without having to wait for the end of the current 5-year electoral cycle.
Well said, leader.
Yeah,
Wrap up now, man.
Just going back to the numbers again. Dr. Wheatley may have been a little bit reticent about being forthcoming with the information, but I'm just trying to drill down on numbers again. So it appears to me that it's a 9-year period. Was the total earnings or the figure somewhere you said about 500 million?
Let me just repeat some of the key figures for you there.
Yes.
The period that was under investigation was from 2013 to 2022. His lawful income over that period amounted to $187 million. His expenditure, which is his expenditure and application, when you look at the source of income and application analysis, his expenditure and application amounted to $352 million over that period. And if you deduct the expenditure and application, if you deduct the lawful income from the expenditure and application, then you have a deficit of 164 million, or a difference of 164 million that could not be explained. That is what constitutes illicit enrichment. So he needs to explain that 164 million. The figure with respect to the 500 and over 500 million that flowed through his bank account, 595 million. Of that amount, 168 was not supported by any explanation of its source, where it came from.
Did you say, Robert, you had any investment?
Which is consistent with the $164 million that could not be explained. Yeah.
Did he say he had any sort of investments in equities, bonds?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Come again?
Yes. Did he indicate whether he had any investments in equities, bonds, fixed income,
Why you not going to read the report?
Yes, it did take into account. After all of that, $164 million could not be explained. Could not be explained.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you responding to our invitation. Thank you.
Well put together. What a conference. Jamaica, I enjoyed that press conference. The People's National Party is on fire this morning, which only leaves me right now to open up the phone lines, because Jamaica people, me want to hear from Uno. So send me some requests.
Jamaica. This is another Crazy J. Hey Andrew, a full time for you go now. Jamaica people them not like you. Worst thing them can't trust you. Look how you sell out the Cuban and accept American. How you know say them not like we. How from morning them a fight we. Andrew, look what you do now. I worship you make them dark. How you know we can't fight. Andrew, you sell we out. Andrew can fix up the road. From we get the Melissa, people asleep on that tent. Some asleep on floor. Andrew, you come from Jamaica, and you don't like the people. You make the country a suffer now. Where you from? That's how you try now.
Thank you. The phone lines are open. Everybody. Howard, you kind of time out. I don't know. You now. I'd send back a request. Howard, your request time out. For the time being, let me jump to my moderator, Trems. Good afternoon. Turn on your microphone and go ahead. Howard, send me back a request, please.
Good afternoon, Dre, and good afternoon to everyone that is tuned in to the program on the For You page. Good afternoon.
Welcome, Dad.
So, liberates. Me just want to know how I feel. That's all I want to know. Persons who voted for the Jamaica Labour Party, I honestly want to know how you feel. You see, these claims from the IC regarding Dr. Wheatley, it is very concerning, and these are serious allegations. Not only that alone, but Dr. Wheatley has a reputation of doing some of these things. You were accused when you were at Petrojam of all types of corrupt acts. You were relieved of your post for several years. You came back into the cabinet and are still the same foolishness you're going with. So I am calling on, I'm going to even address him by the title that everybody calls him with these days. I am going to appeal to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, to relieve the gentleman of his post, please. Now, there may be an issue with relieving him of his post because he was accused of the same illicit enrichment. Mind you, he may not have been charged, but he was investigated for the same offense. Now, if I was a part of his entourage and you're telling me that I have to resign, you would have to resign too.
That's right.
Because me and you were under the same investigation for the same offense. But that is neither here or there. They need to work out their salvation between themselves. In the interest of good governance and accountability, I am appealing to the Prime Minister to relieve the gentleman of his ministerial post. I am going to also go a step further and say as well that if the calling of the opposition for him to be relieved, if that is not forthcoming, the opposition doesn't need to sit in parliament with any of them. I'm very serious.
True.
I'm very, very, very serious. I heard the comrade leader say or mention the steps that he would take if he was not relieved of his post. But to be honest with you, my personal opinion is that that is not enough. That is not enough. Maybe you disagree with me, maybe you agree with me. My personal stance is that is not enough. We don't need to go in and no parliament, go sit down with no teeth in there.
Totally agree. Speak.
We don't need to go sit down with them, and as long as he in there, we not to sit down with him.
You know, if Andrew Wheatley was operating in parts of Asia, he would be tried and executed in the public domain. This guy has wreaked havoc on our society.
Hold on the CP. Hold on the order. So after Trent, after Trent, we do it in an order. Yeah. So after Trem's land, then Howard, then Clabba, then you. In that order, please. Continue, Trem.
Let me conclude by saying that, Drebrian, you are a prophet. You are a prophet. On September 3rd, you have been basically saying that this government will not make it to 5 years. You have been consistently saying that they will not make it to 5 years. And I have a feeling that this is number 2 of the persons that are accused of this particular offense. There are a couple others to go. This is only 2. Dr. Holness and Dr. Wheatley. There are some others to come. So I'm saying to you that it is very well a possibility that this government will not make it to 5 years, and they will topple before the next election is constitutionally due. That hear me I say, opposition, as I said before, we don't need to sit down in there with no teeth. So as long as he sit down in there, we now go in there. Arrest.
Well said. Well said. Thank you, Trem. Thank you. Good afternoon, Howard. You're up next, followed by Clabba and then CP. Turn on your microphone, Howard.
Right. So let us analyze carefully what is happening. And I said this government is very, very dishonest. Andrew Wheatley knew very well from day one that is under investigation for thief taxpayers' money. Because every single soul get an opportunity to present his or herself with your attorney before the commission. Right? So he knows. And the government, by virtue of one of a kind, left with no choice. Andrew Wheatley is just one of the many recycled thieves in the parliament. But as a leader who is doing and leading from in front, because everybody is taking the same playbook, is taking the matter to court. And I would went further than the opposition. I would say the whole entire government needs to resign.
But stick up in there, Howard. Howard, stick up in there, because you just made a point that all of these labor rights who the Integrity Commission called out to be charged, including the Prime Minister, including Wheatley and several others, Dalrymple, the same thing, even the one we passed away the other day, Leslie Campbell, all of them were charged by the Integrity Commission and then carried them to the court, you know. And what they do, when they go to the court, them admit to them guilty.
Exactly. So when people are going to talk about what the PNP did, what we are doing, hypocrisy. And any one of them call on my leader to talk about what we are doing, tell them to go suck out the woman.
I agree.
For when we come out there and we talk about the Prime Minister's statutory declaration and we went to the street, where were they? When we talk about that the tax topics, when we talk about the Integrity Commission can only extend to investigate to a certain extent, and then the FID, what a more police power can go further. And what he did, get his friend and appoint him friend to the post to slow down the where warn you and tell you about this corrupt government. And this government has mean the people that know well and is up to land grabbing to create the new city. Where were they? Prove now. Black River. And the master manipulator, the blueprint for the South Coast development, Jesse Enzel. His father produced the order they come. And them own Jake's property. He's the chief engineer. I like to talk and I like to make clarity so people can know where the Enzel come from. He's in charge. The person who is in charge of NARA, the commissioners, former cousins of the Prime Minister, who is his wife? Who is his wife? One of the Enzel. The Enzel married the former commissioner cousin. So family business. So when you look at the numbers and see that Wheatley figure disproportionately, and as a matter of fact, the easiest thing is to blame. If you listen carefully, the man I blame Dodos. Saying Dodos, the doctor place the right at the corner, Liquor King Street and Spanish Town Road. Who know West Kingston good like me? Right in front of Denantown Police Station, Dre. Across the road, you have a doctor place named Western Medical.
Yes.
Right? At Deso. And in saying sell Dodos. And when them add it up, there is no way at all you can sell Dodos the property. It's just not adding up. You see him can't be said when him there picture drama and the whole money are missing. And them say the man at the bottom of Thief Island, them spend the money in millions and send diver go down, they go look. There is no pipeline. The whole of the island, the gas bar with the total gas station along Spanish Town and the Mandela Highway and the whole of St. Catherine. Oh?
And I'm getting information that Christopher Tufton and Wheatley is in a business partner with some gas station in Westmoreland.
Yardman gas station, and them are the Yardman gas.
Right.
If you have PNP, you can't get no work there. Remember the social media post where them fire the girl? Them a gear green vessel where she said she now wear it, and they fired her. So when we look at the whole issue, what kind of country are we running? How can you embroil yourself in corruption deliberately? How the Anti-Corruption Act set out? PJ passes set it up 2001 for the good governance and transparency and accountability of any country.
You get emotional when you have this conversation.
And when you take it up, we have to emotional. So we'll talk about passions of Jamaica. I'm on the line.
Let me get through.
Right? So at that time, Dre, it was more specific earmark for parliamentarians such as senators and members of parliament.
Yes.
Our leader, Mark Jefferson Golding, tabled in the Integrity Commission Act, which is the modern act right now. And we lost the elections. However, on January the 31st, 2017, and we lost the election by 1. On January the 31st, 2017, this government here, and we captured him on record and said, unlike any other entity, Dre, the Integrity Commission must not be interfered with.
Yes.
Andrew Ole said that in Parliament, and he said to Mama P, unlike any other entity, we must tell them what to do, or to impede them, because as a good governance and transparency, we must demonstrate good leadership. And he put it into law. What we are running is a country of kleptomaniacs, bandits. And I went further, not just Wheatley. I'm calling on the whole entire government to resign. Because if the leader who is not leading from in front and demonstrate the whole thing of illicit enrichment and try to deceive the very institution that you have put into law, and you went to court to take out section 14, subsection 5, that speaks specifically for thief taxpayers' money. You pass it and you went to court and I tried to throw it out, and the judge threw it out. You deal with it. Right? So when we talk about banana Republic, and that we are run. 12 members of parliament and how much of them in the cabinet? And not only locally, a lot of them have millions of dollars in the United States that can't give a call for. So when Audrey Marks made the proposal, I'm going to take back your memory. Remember 2024, January, February, when this administration just came. And Marco Rubio made visit after visit after visit. There are certain requirements must be met. The Cubans got to go. The Chinese got to go. And as part of it, we are going to set up Jamaica as a third country. There are very little say in this thing here. This is an Audrey Marks thing because when this strike, Audrey Marks was just the ambassador. So somebody have to take the scapegoat and say, all right, and me make a proposal. But guess what? Sorry for the noise in the background.
Why the background bad?
The Minister of National Security. Yes, it came on now. The Minister of National Security lied to the Jamaican people. But guess what happened with the United States? Anything at all them do it transparency. And they were forthright and forthright. And thanks to the cleanup company for holding up integrity of this country. The whole of the media house, them you have demonstrated and hear for yourself this morning, Jay, instead of come and them call the minister for resign. Them ask the PMP totally contrary. How about your side? You know, here already say not even one over here. You know, here the current leader already say if anybody deceive him and tell him lie, them are going to dismiss from the cabinet. And when we say cabinet, we have cabinet too. But we have a cabinet in shadow. For we can't remove them if they have been duly elected. Because the Constitution itself speaks about that. Until we change it and we have parliamentarian recall. When will we stand up? And what the Prime Minister have done again, it is clearly setting goals all about who is this man? Nobody don't know if he's a blogger or a journalist or what. For everybody that listen, if we wish connected media or him connected, and no, I don't know how the PMP are entertaining him and he can't talk about where he come from. And him ask one back question and talk about how there's a people that. Let I tell you something, Jamaica. Opposition party is not a fly-by-night. It has been entrenched in the Constitution to stand as vanguard, to protect the integrity and the asset of Jamaica. And if Mark Bolin forced people and the Constitution to be removed, he now beg your favor to stand up for the Jamaica. It is
Ring off.
Trench as part of his duty and his core responsibility and his job requirement to stand up for the Jamaican people against corruptions. So we don't need an explanation. That the Juliet Holness should try and tell him.
Howard, you there? All right. You finished, Howard? Not hear you. So big up yourself, Howard. CP Wagwan.
Yes, good afternoon. Mark Golding was strident, assertive, and clinical in his presentation a while ago. There is no doubt that he has the capacity to effectively administer the affairs of Jamaica.
Yes.
Dr. Wheatley's position of Member of Parliament is also untenable. He should be put before the court as a priority case, right? And he should also be hanged for the suffering that he has unleashed on the Jamaican people. Let me tell you something. It's a long time Dr. Wheatley is involved in these kinds of nefarious affairs. And they are constantly using the courts to prevent the matters from being ventilated, right? I see where Xavier Main, who became a billionaire all of a sudden, he has filed multiple lawsuits against the Integrity Commission. He used his friend Nigel Jones. They are quote-unquote lawyers, but they are also partners in CRIME, right? And let me tell you something, man. If Andrew Wheatley was in parts of Asia, Singapore, China, Vietnam, Philippines, and some others, he would be executed. When you steal public funds, it causes children to can't go to school. They can't get medicine. There is no equipment in the hospital to diagnose people's illnesses, right? The country is run down, and these are the kinds of things that are causing poverty to get out of control. I'm telling you, what this man is accused of is more serious crime than if you should go on the road and chop off a man's two hands. Because he would have caused hundreds of thousands of people to suffer when you raid the public purse like that. We all know how long this guy is involved. Remember, the rural electrification program. Remember, he appointed some guys there, and some of them were caught with hundreds of millions of dollars in their possession. Cash. Right? We know all along that this guy is not up to anything good but to cause more destruction in our country. And I am telling you, man, he should not be tolerated in Parliament either. He has to go as minister because he is not a legitimate minister. He is a man who is covered in illicit enrichment. And let me tell you something. What the Integrity Commission has captured is just a minuscule fraction of the man's wealth, because the Integrity Commission will tell you that they don't have the capacity to fully investigate these culprits. So they would ask some MOCA, the tax administration, and even overseas partners to assist in these investigations. Their capacity is very limited, that is I see. So when they came out, I can tell you, they only capture the surface, just the edge of the high level of theft that has gone. And I'm telling you, man, that these guys must be held accountable. I'm telling you, these are not only breaches of the Integrity Commission's Act, These things are treasonous. They should be hanged. And let me tell you something. All his assets should be confiscated, and that of his family or close friends. Because let me tell you, most of the time these men have hidden resources in other people's names and limited liability companies. So that is why I'm telling you that MOCA should take up this matter and expand its investigation. Because as we already know, the Integrity Commission has limited resources, and we see where the Prime Minister attempted to shake down the institution. We saw where the Director of Investigations resigned and other key personnel had left the office because the Prime Minister was putting them under extreme pressure. True. Right? And this is an institution to protect public funds and to hold government officials accountable. And the Prime Minister is shaking down the institution. It has weakened now. You have a Greg Christie who is so powerful and solid and brilliant. He left. Mr. Panton, he stood for the Jamaican people. He left, so I can tell you that right now the Integrity Commission is not at full capacity. The people who are there are not highly effective when compared to the previous administration. So when you saw they came out and put these allegations against Dr. Weekly, you must know that they tried, because they are not very effective. Remember that the chairperson, her husband was a high-ranking JLP official. He was a supporter. Paul Beswick was the person who defended Dodos when he was about to be extradited. Right? And his wife is now the chairperson of the Integrity Commission. So they have a background. So when you see that they have released this report against Dr. Wheatley, they have no choice. But I can tell you it is more serious than what is stated on paper. And in regards to them, you see the Gleaner is reporting this morning that Ambassador Audrey Marks is the person who initiated this agreement through diplomatic note in terms of taking in 10,000 deportees. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of countries that adopted that agreement, they aborted the program. They left because their citizens came out in drove and demonstrate and they lobbied human rights organization, and the courts are saying that this is an illegal practice to send people to countries where they don't know anybody, they don't know their language, right? They don't know their culture, they are far away from their families. So it is inhumane and it is illegal. But what they want to do, so in other words, the government would be partaking in an illegal transaction, an illegal agreement. You see how lawless these people are? And right now I can tell you that the courts in America, they have been ruling against this illegal practice. But yet Andrew Holness administration is adopting it. What they want to do, they really want to send them off quickly, right? Without the courts knowing about it. Xavier Main should also be prosecuted. This guy is going around and owning several luxurious properties. He has a massive property on Holborn Road, close to where DB&G used to be. I think it's number 10 or number 8. He captured the man's property and built up a business complex up there. He shook down Pete's Bakery and owned the man's property. I think Pete's Bakery owner is challenging that one. He owns property all over the place. He failed to disclose his assets. And the guy is filing multiple lawsuits against the Integrity Commission. Right? He is malicious. He is vexatious. Right? And until now, he is there as state minister in the Ministry of Finance. Can you imagine? Look here. The first thing that the guy went in and did, when he became member of parliament, was to say he gave consultation to the Factories Corporation of Jamaica and collect close to $100 million. Wow. And the IC called him out and said, what? You became a member of parliament and involved in these things already? But Andrew Holness promoted him. Let me tell you, you notice that you always see Xavier Main hiding from the camera. You always see him giving interviews and so on. But CP, he is my member of parliament. I am in Southwest St. and he has never stood up in parliament to give an account of Southwest St. and never have I heard him. He is always hiding. If anybody who knows him since he has been practicing law, this guy has been involved in a whole lot of nefarious affairs. He has overcharged his clients. He ended up owning some of his clients' properties. Let me tell you something, he's always in hiding. And since he became member of parliament, his wealth has increased. If you want to know the person who is helping him to capture some of these places and increase his wealth, is his lawyer and record, Nigel Jones, who has filed his footnote is on the claim that he has put to the court to prevent the Integrity Commission from proceeding with these matters against Xavier Main. Both of them are legal practitioners who are partners. So when Nigel Jones offered to file a lawsuit against the Integrity Commission, for and on behalf of Xavier Main, Jones was serving his personal interests. They are friends like that. So Xavier Main has a long history. He would have collected client funds and refused to carry out some of the cases. Right?
Stick up in there, CP. Would it surprise you or the listeners whether or not the third person to be charged for illicit enrichment would be the member for Southwest Central? Would you be surprised?
What are they waiting on to charge him?
Oh.
He should have been charged months ago. Look here, man. People who know the history of Xavier Main will tell you that this man should not be in the parliament. His sole purpose is to expand his financial empire. He has no care for the people of this country. And can you imagine having this man as state minister in the Ministry of Finance? Someone who is always in hiding. Always in hiding, because guess what? He knows of the Jamaican cliche that says the higher the monkey climb is the more them expose. So he is always hiding, not giving in any interview, staying far from the cameras. But people in the legal profession would have known this man's bad character and reputation. So him becoming a politician now and state minister would have given him latitude to continue his criminal pathway and to expand on it. Let me tell you something, man. People have to come out and march in droves. I hear people asking that the opposition play a leading role. No. The people should come out in droves, and then the opposition will make a statement and a massive protest. The opposition cannot come out like that.
Thank you.
We are living in a democratic country where the people's voices matter, the people's action are paramount. So when the people come out in droves, flood the streets like how they flood Carnival, right? And shake up critical government institutions, meaning boycott institutions, cause them not to be performable, or cause them to be crippled, then the opposition can come out and make a statement on the matter. But they cannot play a leading role in bringing down the government. The people have to come forward.
That's right.
So I'm saying, man, in closing, Drebrian, Andrew Wheatley should not be Minister of Government this morning. This man should be handcuffed and placed in custody, no bail, and let the trial proceed. And after the trial, if he is found guilty, he should be hanged, because the pain and suffering that they have caused on the people of Jamaica, poverty, malnourishment, lack of educational opportunity, no proper equipment at the hospitals to diagnose and save people's lives. All of that has been missing because there is constant stealing of public funds. These are serious crimes against humanity. These are treasonous actions that they must be held accountable. No.
Well said, CP. Well said. Well said. I think the entire listeners and those on the panel in full agreement with you. So well said, CP. We have 3 more other callers before we wrap up for the afternoon. We have Derval, Sir Bless, and Uncle Cole. Derval, go ahead and unmute your microphone, please. What's your contribution this afternoon?
First, I want to say good afternoon to you, Drebrian, and I want to say congratulations. I am proud of you, of what you are doing, and continue with good work, fight the good fight. There's a reward for us up in heaven. And first, I want to say, and then I want to say good afternoon to the moderator, good afternoon to all the comrades, and a warm welcome to all the laborite. Them laborite no shame. A laborite no shame, laborite. No shame. No shame. No tired for the one government shame on. I'm not tired. Andrew Wheatley, a long time you're listening. Remember the 2018, with you and the saga? A long time you are thief now. Andrew Wheatley should get locked up from a long time. And I just know him a thief. Andrew Holness for go down with. It's a reason why Andrew Holness make him resign now because Andrew can go with him too. Because him and Andrew Holness have some partner in some business too. You understand? Andrew really need for go. Him need for go. And also, Babs Green for go too. Babs Green for go between Don't feel she get to Don't feel she get to because she don't go snake. She evil. She don't go snake and evil. More can if you go in from Babs Green too. Because Babs Green move her office and capture land. I've been an office gone up to another local lane there, so with the bad man then they forget the office Babs Green. You Babs Green, you mash up capture land Babs Green. You mash up capture land. Remember that Babs Green. You mash up capture land and throw the whole of the PMP out of the yard and capture land Babs Green. Wicked Babs Green. Wicked Babs Green. I can shut off them up and nick Babs Green. Look at you Babs Green. You have the class. You're in the ladies class Babs Green. You're in the ladies class Babs Green. Are you Juliet Holness? We are going to lock off Michael at Parliament, you say, like you're a bad woman at Parliament, Juliet Holness. Juliet Holness, you're a bad woman at Juliet Holness. You're a fool. Because see the joke about change the pampers. Roll out Madio. Leave Nikisha alone. Nikisha quality girl. Nikisha queen. She's the queen of the pack. I'm Tuno. I'm Tuno labor right. No go and leave we alone. Andrew will forget Anne. Andrew will forget Anne by him head. You understand? And people who not talk about Marky G for come out. How many of you plan to come out? Who not talk about no one protest. How many of you plan to come out? Me go there 34 times. And God bless who come out there with me. How many of you ready? Who depend internet can talk like say who not bad people, who not bad. Who not bad until they take it to the street. Who not bad until they go out there. You understand? When we go out there, we get pepper spray from police. You understand? Police all walk with on. You understand? People who don't even get serious or start like a Paul Burger. Anything now. Because enough is enough. How many of you guys are ready to go out there? Who not talk about one protest? How many of you are ready to go out there? How many of you are ready to go out there? You understand? Who not ready for this? How much you know want to sit up on internet and chat on internet? Sit up on internet and chat like say, who ready? Who not ready for this yet? Or when you're ready, I listen to take to the street and stop calling Marky G name. Rest my Prime Minister. Rest Marky G. When I rest him. Oh. Very well said. Thank you, Drebrian, for having me. Thank you, Derval. One Babsy Green and one Roller. And of course, Andrew Wheatley must honor. I love your twist and everything. You continue doing what you're doing, sir. Stay safe. And Jamaica is definitely watching you growing from strength to strength. Sir Bless, then Dr. Cole, and then we'll wrap up with Mrs. Escobar. Good afternoon, Sir Bless. Your time, sir. Turn on your microphone.
Good afternoon, my teacher, my professor, Drebrian. How you doing?
They are blazing fire, you know.
Good afternoon, panel, and panel. How you do? And I must say to those three gentlemen, our comrade leader, our senator, and our spokesperson finance, that was a well put together conference. I love it. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Drebrian, I must say to the people of Jamaica, majority of the people of Jamaica that voted for the Jamaica Labour Party. We're not voting for a country to run properly, not voting for corruption. And we are calling, the well-thinking citizens of Jamaica are calling, and I'm going to go as wide as even to the Governor General to resign. Even to the Governor General to resign. You could not tell me we're going to approach a national election and we have over 11 to 12 illicit enrichment criminals there. And you want to tell me that the Governor General sit here and allow the saga to play it out? So what if Andrew Wheatley now have to even resign the criminal charge that brought against him, and he's supposed to be charged and face the court? I don't think a man have a criminal issues have the right to sit in the House of Parliament to even in no position to be represent. So I'm saying if they got to call going to go to a by-election, did we the citizens of Jamaica, the suffering taxpayer of Jamaica, have to go find money now to run a by-election to install another person? Where we don't even know it gonna be another illicit enrichment criminals? Huh? We don't even know if they're gonna be another illicit enrichment criminal. We have a very serious issues in Jamaica. And the people of Jamaica who voted for the Jamaica Labour Party, you have to understand what you vote for. You're not voting for a proper representation, you know. You're not voting on partisan politics, and that cannot continue to be the model of how we select a government or administration. Right? We can't continue to be like this. I remember in 2016 when Dr. Davis Peter Phillips was the former opposition leader. Right? I see where Emily Shields has an interview with Dr. Phillips. And when we were Dr. Phillips was speaking about corruption, Emily Shields laughed so hard. The situation that we find ourselves in with these people thieving money left, right, and center. Emily Shields them supposed to blame for it. They are part of the illicit enrichment strategy that's going on in Jamaica. Every one of them are thinking for their bread. While the poor suffering people of this country continue to suffer. Bad road, hospital, education, and we can go on and on. Huh? Look at the Naira bill. And if the concerned citizens of Jamaica are speaking out about this type of issues that we have in Jamaica, right? And Emily Shields are the one that should help us to advocate for a better Jamaica, because they're singing for their bread, they're getting their bread, so there's no response gonna talk for the average citizens in Jamaica. All they know they pay with the PR stunt for the government when the average people in Jamaica continue to suffer from illicit enrichment criminal. I am saying the opposition party should not sit in parliament with this illicit enrichment criminal. All of them supposed to get out of there. Don't sit there with them. Don't sit there with them. They are corrupt. The country is not running well. We need proper governance in Jamaica. Right? One man could, a citizen of Jamaica, could go over the Governor General premises and pick 6 parts of Aki and ends up have to go to prison for it. And you want to tell me billions and trillions and millions of dollars been thieved by this corrupt administration? Thieved by this. And what are the people are expect of Mark Jefferson Golden? I say Mark Jefferson Golden, don't go on no street with them. Don't go on no street with them. You campaign for 4.5 years. And tell them you plan for Jamaica and they vote for corruption. So they want corruption to continue to govern Jamaica. That's my few words. Thank you, Drebrian, to give me the opportunity to speak my advice and my concern. Thank you very much, my brother.
Every time, anytime, Sir Bless. Thank you for your contribution this afternoon. Dr. Cole, thank you for waiting patiently. Turn on your microphone and go ahead.
Thank you to have me, and good afternoon to those on the panel and those on the Far You page and those are in the chat room, right? I'm continue to tap up the screen, but I'm telling you, Dre, I used to go to church, and the only song I sing in humming in my heart for a man, in my heart is overwhelmed.
Yes.
Lead me to that rock
that is
higher than I.
Amen.
We need, as Peter Bunting said, divine intervention. We don't need no other man like Bobby Montague.
Yes.
Right? I was listening directly on the PNP TikTok page. right? And when I heard Comrade Julian Robinson said that there is 9 more persons under investigation for illicit enrichment. We have the A and A, the 2 Anjo, right? We have Mama D who confess, and Davian, that's 4 and 9, 13. Member of Parliament, that is, we know have 4 now, right? So we have 9 more leave. And we are asking Andrew Holness to tell Wheatley to resign. We are like asking God to make the sun rise from the west and set it in the east. And that is impossible. When you have a boss and the boss is corrupt, he cannot talk to no work upon the site. When you have a boss upon a site, and when you go home, the worker then see him put 4 bags of cement in 9 car and gone. Everybody will want a bag. So your house cannot be. And while we're here asking Andrew Wheatley to step aside, I believe that every demonstration, if we can able to garner, because I've been on a couple of them too. And I now go say, why we not come out? The people are timid by the police force, right? And nobody no want get locked up. Not even me. No one get locked up. But if I go out there and been arrested, right, I probably can scarf me way around and with a liar. But when a little man go out there and get arrested, him depend him own. And that is the biggest challenge that the people of Jamaica is fear right now. Right? To go out there and demonstrate. We have seen Mr. Pattison from the newly formed party was arrested and a couple of his second. And that is the aim of the government, is to intimidate the people. Keep them in fear, that them don't go out there. I don't know who I can talk to no more. I don't have that strength no more. But something have to done, that's if we are go out there go protest. We have to be able to have a couple JP who will willing to come to the police station and let the people then get their station bail, and a couple lawyer on standby, right? But Jay, to be honest, I don't know where this country going to be in another couple months from now.
Oh, sir.
Because it is a damning report, right? And if you look on the pattern, there's a ants walking line. I believe I saw me here. I never studied. Right? If you look on the pattern of everything that the Integrity Commission started from Andrew Holness to Andrew Wheatley, no different. No different. Non-compliance, zero tax return, you sell how much car, you don't know where party money go, you rent out property, you can't start no tenant name.
It's a pattern.
Come on.
It is a pattern, yes.
Ants walk in line, my grandmother always tell me. I don't know what it means, but I never get to study it. But Jamaican, when the GLP get the education, it was 37.5%. Now it is at 18%. Go and find out when Wheatley came in politics how much money me have and how much him have now. When Andrew Holness came in politics, his wife confessed them was so broke. that should have a plan to sell fish fry. Go and look on the network of Andrew Holness from 1997. Till today, what is your network Jamaican from 1997 to today? What is your value? Are you better off? As according to Adi Shah, worse off? Right? Our hospital is at the lowest it can be. I was talking to a young lady, and I asked her how much person an award at Andrews that when Cliff Hughes was admitted there. She said the IS4 pan award. I said, wow. But yet Cliff Hughes could get a $1.4 billion. How much a who can go Andrews Jamaican? How much a who can have an hospital? How much a who can a hospital in a hospital can only have 3 person pan award? How many? I don't have to be here beating up my gum because I can to kukudu, right? Who now have no teeth have a bite with them gum. And me they have bite with me gum. If we have 9 more members of parliament, I can bet my last dollar down that the 9 of them is the Jamaica Labour Party member of parliament. Probably pass and present. And I can tell you, to have 12 members of parliament for a 13 member of parliament, right? Including the Prime Minister of Jamaica that is under investigation for illicit enrichment, refer to the tax office and the FID, without a shadow of a doubt. With God be my witness, is most corrupt when CP said Anjo Bishal Ang, I believe that we should took Anjo Holness, Juliet Holness, and their 2 children to Africa and hang them also. And I yield back to the floor.
As you wish, Dr. the Honorable Orin Cole. Thank you for your contribution, sir. And my final caller for the afternoon is Mrs. Escobar. Mrs. Escobar, kindly turn on your microphone.
Yes, Dre, I don't come to stay long, as I am a pilgrim and I'm just passing through. But I want to switch the argument a little to the Caribbean because a lot of people believe this is just Jamaica. No. I'm going to open up on our eyes a little further. All right, so let us take it back because a lot of people so focus on Andrew Wheatley. But let us take it back as far as ADMAT. So, Dre, remember ADMAT was incorporated and officially registered in St. Lucia?
Yes.
And that would have been an offshore company, correct? Okay. So the entity was established as an international business company under the law of St. Lucia. All right, Dre? Okay, Andrew. You don't believe you no slick, you don't believe you no smart. Okay. So in that same regard now, Dre, you know what happened? I would say the law was passed all along, in terms of offshore companies, right? But you know what was the funny thing about it? In 2021, St. Lucia strengthened those laws in terms of offshore companies and as it regards declaration.
Yes.
So the jurisdiction now requires a mandatory disclosure of beneficial ownership, strict internal financial record keeping for at least 6 years. And make it even worse. And it enforces corporate income tax on certain previously exempt entities to deter illicit tax avoidance.
Wonderful.
Want to listen carefully, Dre, this law was back from 2019. That is one. But it was strengthened in 2021. Let us backtrack as it regards the Prime Minister dissolving ADMAT. ADMAT was formed in 2008, but it dissolved in 2021 when the last strengthened in St. Lucia.
Backside.
Come back again because some people believe these people are going to get away and so it work today. Look at it. So this law was there enough. Andrew set up this company way before this law was in place. It was passed, it in there, but it never run from St. Lucia because guess what? I just a few little here and there tweaks of this law. But when it strengthened and even get deeper in terms of curbing illicit tax exemption, that is when the Prime Minister dissolved ADMAT in 2021. And now, because these people believe them slick and them smart. Dre, who remember the election last year when it was reported that Jamaica Labour Party supporters went into St. Lucia to try to topple over the Prime Minister that is there now, Premier? Who remember? Premier was there before from 2021 in Dre. So these people and these JLP operatives walk around in the Caribbean to try to topple over leaders in the Caribbean because they have their own personal agenda in these small islands. So Premier will come now. Premier will come now to come enforce this law in terms of offshore businesses. And him now go like that. So them send them operatives down there to topple over the man in the last year election. And they did it also to Barbados.
They do it in St. Vincent.
And they did it in St. Vincent. So you see, this thing, and not only politics, is a syndicate of piranhas in the Caribbean going around for personal gain and personal agendas, and they will do anything at any cost to get it done. And that is the Prime Minister we are talking about. Come now, draw down to Andrew Weekly. I see some things in common, and I'm wondering if Jamaican people recognize it also. Land and lot and sending as gift present. What you mean by you get lot as present? Huh? Are you talking about the SSL saga where we see Darrell Vaz's daughter-in-law get SSL land as present too? Oh. And then Darrell Vaz come out and tell we say, you don't know nothing about that. Or you don't know nothing about that. You never know, so your daughter-in-law father did purchase from SSL and happened to turn it over to she was married to your son, and you, Darrell Vaz, know nothing about them, the arrangement, they lie and wicked and treacherous. Them know everything that is going on in this country, and as I said, there's a set of them. UDC, that gentleman need to go about in business, because he might want next one again. UDC overseas, not the land them. Yes. And projects and the thing them. So how is it so coincidental that them are people that can have so much lots are transferring them one another name, and the average Jamaican person can't find them the lot they yet to go buy at a low interest, a low rate? And the house them again gone sky high because the Prime Minister come a big private sector so if it take time with the housing price, yet still I take how much millions of dollars out of NHT to catch up budget, and the mandate of NHT is to build houses and affordable houses for the country. I don't feel like, why not try to tell the people them say, I don't think we don't sleep about ya and not say it work. Andrew Wheatley must resign and must not get access to anything concerning government documents, because at this point, I believe Andrew Wheatley is selling information not only to partners in Jamaica, but also Caribbean leaders with the same agenda of them. And I will put it in the context of Meditech. Meditech, up to this day, have an individual by the name of person A, cannot disclose in court document, cannot disclose, but yet still that individual gave them a large sum amount of money to pump in one company in which a sitting member of parliament is the shareholder of. Oh. And none of them can't tell who that person is. But you know what is worse, Dre? When you read that court document and go down in it and it tell you, say, person A is a public figure, holds a high office in this country, and if they release the name of person A, it will cause problem in this country because of public perception. Why would you have such a high office in this country and you would have want go double up in a company where you have to, as an official, declare your statutory declaration and the companies that you are a part of? Why would you, an official, even go double up in that in the first place? For court document now to be shadowing your image, and I say, we can't know who you be, but you give them money. And that is the company where import on a $30 million drill.
Oh.
So somebody is in the system selling the information to these necessary piranhas in this country and tell them how to operate and how them to move. No businessman will get up and take up so much money and invest in a company where just a start out like Meditech without they analyzing the market and see so them can get back return and make profit.
True.
So the person who cooperated Meditech and put Donovan Williams as a shareholder, they know the contract already line up for them out there. Them know how much these contracts will be going for, so them know how to go register them company, line up themselves now and put in them application to go bid for it. And that is under the Ministry of Health. That is under the Ministry of Health to do these things. And you want to tell me, say, Andrew Wheatley started, the Prime Minister set the trend and who want to follow suit? And I will say this straight. The Prime Minister put up himself as a scapegoat, and I will tell you why. The Prime Minister lick him chest and tell himself, yeah, him a the big dog. So him say, you want to know, me go take the IC court and me go try get out the illicit enrichment law out of the Constitution. Because you see, if me is successful in getting that out, Wheatley, you now go better get all by the Integrity Commission, no, because by them the time that the law gone. So them things and they're smart. So him jump in at the mix now as the big dog, lick him chest, tell himself him can do as him please as the Prime Minister. So him run carry Integrity Commission go court quick and fast to save the other 12 when need to come up now to the front of the class.
True.
And that them are doing at the country. And as Mr. Dre, I want people to want them here, you know, because if you think so the Caribbean nations, them not get serious in terms of these businesses will come in at their country. And I will say this to the Cuban doctors who claim to say they signed agreement with Andrew Holness. The Cuban government say you are on your own. And we know why you don't come to we can tell we nothing will happen to you going forward. Because Jamaican cannot pay their nurses. Jamaica can't even fill the vacancies in the hospitals. Jamaica can't pay them police and them teachers. Jamaica can't even do right by the Jamaican people. But uno left for uno place now about uno sign agreement. That out of uno, none is there. None is there. So I am glad the Cuban government made that clear. Uno de uno own. We know why you nothing pertaining to uno and any fallout or no have with the Jamaican government when the narrative twist for uno in this country because they have done it to the locals. So why the great Prime Minister Michael Manley said, if they have done it to Cuba, why you tell yourselves that it won't happen to you?
That's right.
And unwafal person should know better. So Dre, let us move on because these people tell themselves to them sleep. Me done with Andrew and Andrew Wheatley because them are corruption and if they go to prison to what they might do. Let us move on now to a very serious matter in terms of the deportee.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have missed some points in this, you know. Dre, Jamaica is a signatory to the 1951 Refugee Convention, you know.
Okay.
And the cornerstone of the treaty and the principle, you have a word called non-refoulement. And I wonder if Earthstrong know that word. And it is strictly forbids a country from forcefully returning or transferring a person to a territory where they face serious threat of prosecution, torture, death, or harm. So let us ask Jamaica one question because we tell we say I no come here, them a come here, come live. We no tell we say how we transit them. Them are transit tourists. Does Jamaica know the country that these deportees will be shipped to? Are these country war-prone countries? Are we going to ask Earthstrong and the comrade leader ask the same question and Earthstrong said he never knows one case right now in America